Let's get a very special voice on the fundamentals. S. Naren, CIO of ICICI Prudential AMC, joins us right now on the show. Naren, good having you. Thanks so much for joining in. It's been volatile in its own sweet way, but I don't think too many people are complaining because we are trading near all-time highs. How do you see the next 6 months to shape up like?
As we all know, the next 6 months, the taper turned out to be something which got completely ignored by the market. I mean, this was our view because of the main reason that we managed to bring down our current account deficit from 5% of GDP to almost nothing. I think that was a great achievement on the part of India, which is why the taper was such a small issue for India. But the next 6 months, all of us know, I think election is very important. In the government which comes after the election, if we get a pro-growth government, there's a fair amount of upside in the market. The mid-caps and small caps are still not priced for a growth improvement post the election. The large cap upside will be moderated primarily because the defensive sectors are not trading cheap. But if I look at the next 6 months, there's only one event which is going to be very important, that is the election.
Naren, in the near term though, I just want to talk about Infosys, considering that really is at the top of one's mind this morning. 8th exit coming in, Bala out this time, and a crucial part in the Infy organizational structure. Would this materially impact Infosys at a time when IT really seems to be speeding ahead?
I don't talk on individual stocks, but I think the sector is still well placed till the growth comes back in India. Only when the growth comes back in India, people will have to relook whether they need to have such a big exposure to technology. Otherwise, I think clearly from a sectoral point of view, we are still in a good position in that sector. And clearly, we do believe that every company in the sector will work to improving its growth rate, because if you don't improve the growth rate, we are in trouble, because there's a good period and you have to improve the growth rate. So I think every company will work on tactics and strategies to improve growth rate. And there are times when in every company you have to take difficult decisions to actually move forward, whether people quit or whether people join. The goal would be very clear for every company to accelerate its growth rate.
How much do you think elections will weigh on the mind of the macros?
See, on the macro, I think what we believe is that the worst of inflation is over, and clearly inflation is headed downward. Surprisingly, we didn't get any benefit of the monsoon in the first few months of October, November, but I think going forward, we're going to see the benefit of the monsoon. I think inflation will be a much smaller worry, although it may still remain high, it will keep coming off. I think particularly the consumer price inflation. I think that's, one of the key macros we expect in the first 6 months of 2014. And that would mean that, right now, the long-term fixed income investment is something which is very, very attractive at this point of time. Unlike the equity market, it is close to 1 year low. And consequently, it makes for an extremely attractive asset class to invest in at this point of time. And I find people not biting into that asset class, although it should be considered very attractive. People are not investing in that asset class. I think that's the most important macro trade I can think of for the first 6 months. As far as currency is concerned, the problem is not with the rupee. I think that's been handled very well. But the problem is that US dollar may appreciate against all the currencies in the world, and due to that, it's very difficult to predict rupee dollar at this point of time. If they're going to keep on reducing $10 billion in each meeting, as the last meeting suggested, I think dollar could appreciate not just against rupee, but against all the other currencies. So that could be an event. So it's very difficult to predict rupee dollar. But I don't think against the other currencies like euro and yen, we have to worry so much. I don't think there we have to worry. But what we also have to see is whether if the gold is actually, the gold duties are brought back, or the gold imports are liberalized, what happens to the trade deficit? That is another area which we have to actually focus on. So I think on the whole, I think economy will not deteriorate. It will improve from here. growth doesn't seem to be picking up in the next quarter or so. But I think still our view is that on a 2 to 3 year basis, there's a massive opportunity in all the indicators to improve. And that would be a very, very positive trigger for the entire market ex the defensive sectors.
What's your sense about the pharma pack, and does it seem like the outperformance is here to stay?
See, actually, the day Indian growth picks up, I think both pharma and tech will underperform. But at this point of time, if I take the first quarter of 2014, I don't see Indian growth picking up significantly. So I think till the day the Indian growth is doing badly relative to global growth, I think both tech and pharma are likely to outperform. That's the kind of view we have at this point of time. So if I take a year, I think if the election produces a pro-growth government, I clearly see tech and pharma underperforming. Does it mean that tech and pharma give negative return? I'm not sure. I think it's more clear that if a pro-growth government comes, you're going to see tech and pharma underperforming but not giving negative returns. I believe that the scope for 2014 is in fixed income, and the scope is also in the entire pack X the defensives. But for that, we need an election result which is pro-growth.
So, assuming that it is a pro-growth government and tech and pharma were to relatively underperform, is it time then to start nibbling into infrastructure, cap goods or banks?
Yeah, clearly I think both the small cap, mid cap and the cyclical sectors of the economy, including the PSUs, are very, very attractive at this point of time for medium-term investment. And we've been continuing to believe that ever since the July-August method to bring down current account deficit and trade deficit worked, that's been our view. And I think if you're going to have a trade deficit at about $10 billion, even considering that we have kind of virtually squeezed gold imports, I think it's a very attractive development for the cyclical sectors of the economy. So I think clearly the cyclical sectors as well as fixed income are very, very attractive at this point of time, and there is a good opportunity. However, finally, I think it appears to me that just like what happened in US and Europe, the market will improve much before the fundamentals do. So people who are waiting to look at the fundamentals, they're going to miss the rally as they did in US and Europe. So I think it's clear that you're going to first see the improvement in the market, then the fundamentals have improved. If you see both US and Europe, first the market moved up, then people said, why is the market moving up? Then the fundamentals have improved now. Same thing is now happening in Europe, and something similar could happen in India as well.
Okay, so go along some of the cyclicals, cap goods, infrastructure, slightly underweight on IT as well as pharma. What do you do with the consumption basket, Naren, keeping in mind the view that you just gave out?
See, there actually we've been negative for quite some time because the valuations there, particularly on the FMCG side, have actually still, they're not cheap, although they have underperformed 20% in the last 3-4 months. On the discretionary part of the basket, while the growth rates have crashed, surprisingly the stocks haven't moved down at all. So that's why if I take the consumption basket, we've been actually pretty cautious, and while the consumer side has started to work, even now the discretionaries are still doing reasonably well. Although we believe that, in a world where you have to bring down both inflation and current account deficit, consumption is not the sector which is likely to do that well. We continue to believe that, consumption may not be the growth driver. Exports and infrastructure have to become the growth drivers before consumption. Actually, we have had a beautiful cycle from 2008 to 2012 where consumption outperformed everything else so significantly. The impact of that was seen both in inflation and current account deficit. While current account deficit has been brought down, inflation is still high. So I think as inflation comes down, the consumption side of the economy should slow down a bit. Whether it will happen pre-election, post-election, that's a very difficult call for me to say. But if I take a year as such, I would say that consumption underperforming, cyclical, small cap and mid cap is our view at this point of time.
Naren, it's been taper light this time around, but if Fed were to give further direction and increase the amount of tapering, do you think it could have a material or significant impact on the inflows into our markets?
I think the Fed is pretty clear. I think we view the Fed as a person who's going to take some very, very harsh steps. I don't think they're in the mood for that. They would like to definitely bring down quantitative easing, and they will do it slowly. I don't think they're going to accelerate it to a phase where, they must be very happy with the market move post the taper. Because if 10-year had gone in US to more than 3% at this point of time as a result of the taper, they would have got worried and actually they've been wondering what to do. So I think they're going to moderate this pace. They're not going to allow interest rates to shoot up in US easily. In fact, if it were to shoot up, I think they would moderate their taper and possibly stop extra tapering. And so I think, we think that US wants to do some harsh tapering. I don't think that's the situation. I think India is, in 2014, is a domestic situation. I don't think as long as our trade deficit hovers at around $10 billion without gold, and even if gold is liberalized and it goes to $12 billion, I don't think tapering is a problem, but the election is certainly important. We need growth. You can't have IIP at minus 1.6%. It's logical for a country like India to have an IIP of at least 5 to 6%. I would want to watch it go back to 5 to 6%. I'm sure it will happen in the next 2 to 3 years. So I think clearly we are going to be taken care of by domestic situation. I don't think tapering is as important unless the trade deficit goes out of gear. If the trade deficit goes out of gear, then yes, we are just like what has happened to Turkey and Indonesia and all these kind of countries. The taper will have a big impact in India also.
It's been hodgepodge. There are stocks like Tata Steel, etc., which have done very well from the lows, and there are some others which are languishing very close to or at their 52-week lows. Some of the large ones like Hindalco and Sesa Sterlite haven't really done something materially. What do you expect this pack to do over the course of the next 12 months?
In the last 3 to 4 years, I have realized if China starts sneezing, these stocks get a flu. So I think that's been the way it's been going. So, more than looking at India, it looks like watching China is the one which decides what happens to these Indian stocks. Fundamentally, we've been positive, particularly mid-year, we were very positive. Even now, we are reasonably positive. But, you can't predict what will happen in China in 2014. So I think the risks are there. But post-election, if many of the mining-related issues are solved in each company, I think there's a massive trigger ahead because many of them have got derated primarily because they have plants, but they don't have backward integration of raw materials which are available in India. So I think clearly if there were to be improvement on that side post the elections, you would see a massive re-rating in that sector also. Sector is really cheap. So aside from the China factor, I think the domestic factor will play a role post elections. And I think these sectors are so cheap at this point of time that it makes sense to be overweight them.
Naren, really appreciate you taking the time out and speaking with us today.